Topic 2, speaking of wrestling, let's talk about a little wrestling video game. We got the new AEW video game that just dropped as of last week. AEW Fight Forever. And I just wanted to give my general thoughts, feelings. If you want to call it a review, you can call it a review of the game and stuff like that. First things first, this game is a lot of fun from a gameplay standpoint, which is definitely, I feel like, where they were going for, or what they were going for in terms of a comparison to, obviously, the 2K series. 2K series is very good and great at what they do, especially since their little break in 21 to take a year off, to rehash things, to make some new game modes, all those things. But the gameplay, at times, can be a lower point just because it's very simulation heavy. Still very good, just from a pick up and casual, I don't want to use that word, but a casual person off the street picking up a game, they could be very difficult to grasp. And I think AEW Fight Forever, for the most part, hits where 2K misses in terms of just pick up, play, simplicity. There's a few things where I wish it was a little easier in terms of signatures, finishers, stuff like that. The whole sequence of signatures is fine. It's a simple button press once you get to it, but then it's this combination and string of actions to get to your finisher. If they were really trying to go for the 64 days, which granted my experience is limited with, of real arcadey, I think the finisher should still have just been a one button press and not a sequence of events in order to get them. Get your signature, then do your taunt, then you can do your finisher, but you better do your finisher fast because it doesn't last long. Those kinds of things I wish they maybe tweaked their gameplay a little bit for to make it better. But all in all, the matches themselves are a lot of fun. They are very tense in the best ways and exciting, of anything can happen and momentum shifts and it's not one person's in control all the time. Really enjoy that arcadey feeling. Crazy stuff will happen. There's a lot of crazy stuff with the weaponry, whether it's the exploding barbed wire match where they go super crazy with the explosion, or they do the Easter egg like the real one in AEW where it's all sparkly and not that great. The weapons themselves are good. There's a wide variety of them. I laughed out loud a few times the times I played of just throwing a trash can at somebody and throwing a chair or hopping on the skateboard and jumping around doing ollies and stuff. It's ridiculous in all the best ways possible that just makes it fun and allows the players to just enjoy themselves as they're going through these matches and the game itself. The game launched with about, I think it was a 50 character roster. Unlockables, they have some. I wish they had more. That's just me being selfish. So unlockables, you have Cody Rhodes, Aubrey Edwards, Brody Lee, Big Show, and Owen Hart are your unlockables that you can get. And the way you unlock them, Aubrey and Cody are just in the store. You can buy them after earning AEW money. And then the others are unlocked through different means. Owen, I believe you got to do 100 exhibition matches. Brody, there's a specific storyline in the Becoming the Elite mode or Road to the Elite. That's what it is. To get Brody, and then same thing with Big Show. Another Road to the Elite storyline there. Wish there were a few more unlockables just with their varied storylines and paths in Road to the Elite. But I'll take what I can get and go from there. The roster's good. The roster's varied. It's just a big... What's the term? It's a big glaring thing seeing how many people are missing. And I know a lot of people are giving or reprimanding the game for this for a smaller roster. I get it. This is not going to be a yearly title if they're sticking to the plans of what they said in initial development. Not going to be a year release. It's going to be something that they kind of keep pumping new content into, which if so, totally appreciate and love. I just hope that the content is not far and few between. Right now we have a couple of content, or rather expansion passes of the season pass. You had the FTR pack available at launch. We're going to have a limitless bunny or something like that. Keith Lee and the bunny from Butchering the Blade. And then Hook and Danhausen will be available. If they're all going to be DLC like that of 2 character packs, that's going to be a bit rough on the wallet, not going to lie. I hope they maybe also have some characters for free, because there's a lot of omissions I feel in this roster that are like head scratchers. For example, a lot of Dark Order people missing. I get it if people aren't with the company anymore, totally fair. But to not have Evil Uno, your video game representative for AEW games, not to have him in the game, weird. To have John Silver but not have Alex Reynolds, very strange. I get Proud and Powerful, Santana, I believe, a little bit out of the company. That's interesting. I can get that one. Jake Hager not being in there, weird. Of course, my mind's blanking as I start going through them now, but there's a lot of, in my head, odd choices of people who didn't make it, where there's references to them, or music's in there for them, or things like that, and it's just oh, okay, you could add that. I understand music. Adding music is a lot easier than a whole character model and animation and all that jazz. I get that. Just something I noticed of oh, okay, interesting. Granted, if it's part of the plan with those updates, great. Speaking about unlockables, for one more thing, they have the shop tab where you once again have Cody, Aubrey, 2 Young Bucks alternate attires, and a Britt Baker alternate attire. Appreciate those. Thank you. Hopefully they fill that with new content also relatively normal or quick, because the challenges that they have in the game, certain matches with certain superstars, so many wins, submission wins, this create a character, create a arena, whatever it is, the amount of unlockables that are in the store right now, I don't think is going to hold over players for very long. I think in just a 2 to 3 hour session, I was able to get both characters and the 3 outfits. Granted, there are other things to unlock. There's music to unlock. There's arena pieces to unlock. There's hand shapes, or whatever you want to call those, to unlock for your create entrances. There's animations, which I got all those also in that same session. I think if someone's really sitting down to play those, you're going to unlock these very, very quickly. As you accumulate the AEW cash, whether from the story mode or just playing the game, you're going to accumulate this quickly. It's going to be a quick turnaround. So hopefully they keep adding content to this, whether it's free characters or alternates, whatever it is. Hopefully they can keep adding to that. Let's talk about Road to the Elite. So their main storyline, or story mode in this game mode. The intention is to play with a create a wrestler, go through, but you have the choice to use whatever current roster member that they do have. So for example, I picked Ruby Soho and I'm going through the story with her. I love that there are alternate stories that you can take. So in each playthrough, from my understanding, there are 4 blocks / chapters, and each block and chapter has 3 storylines that you have the potential to go through. And depending on your choices, win-loss, etc., that will determine how your story goes. So we talked about Brody earlier. The Join the Dark Order storyline is one of them in Chapter 2 that you can do. I love that. I appreciate that. They have 4 weeks per chapter, then it's the pay-per-view. In each week, you have the opportunity to do 4 actions. You can choose to go to the gym, you can choose to go eat somewhere, or you can go sightsee. Or rather, sightsee and then do BTE stuff, which I appreciate as well. Quick sidebar. One thing I love about this game is all the TLC for fans of AEW whether it's the main product or all the auxiliary products that they toss in here reference wise. Like if you, similar to Marvel movies, like it's like that MCU comic thing of like, have you been paying attention? This is reward for you for doing these things. I love that this game has that. Sorry, quick sidebar over. I'll probably go back to that later. So during those times, you can pick those 4 actions. If you have a create a superstar, these actions affect certain levels for you. Regardless, it affects energy level and happiness, or like momentum level. If you're playing a created superstar, or wrestler rather, you get skill points to like upgrade your wrestler to make them better, more efficient, practical in the matches, make things easier for you. Unfortunately, if you pick a current roster member, you can't upgrade them at all. It's just whatever their stats are, that's their stats. So, cool, you can choose these choices. This is also a little bit where that game mode falls apart. It's very hokey. And like cheesy, and not in a good type of cheese. It's like, why did I need this? So for the workouts, for example, there's 3 workouts: light, medium, heavy, something like that. And every time you do it, you see the same animations, depending on which choice you made, and the same dialogue. Squats: I got to put my weight on my back, feet forward, go with my breathing, blah, blah, blah. Middle: I'm doing bicep curls, and if I hold it longer, then I'm going to be able to improve this exercise. Bench press, blah, hold this, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, okay, interesting. Very strange. However, randomly, you'll run into special social interactions at these things, depending on whether you chose the gym, the diner, whatever it is. And you'll run into other wrestlers, and it's either a good interaction or you shit talk each other. It doesn't lead to storylines often, and sometimes you end up taking photos together, and that's like a collectible, I guess. Very odd. Very, very odd. It's like it's a very weird thing that I'm not sure why they included. And the diner's another instance of that, where they want to give you the sense of like traveling around the world and seeing different cuisines, and you get little different t-shirts for the cities you're in. But when you go to the diner, it's just like, oh, this is the local dish. This is the local dish's history. And it's like, why do I care? I don't. So just odd choicing and odd phrasing, and like I said, that hokiness, that cheesiness, which is like, okay. Matches themselves are good. The storylines so far that I've been a part of have been interesting, have been fun, and seeing that storytelling. It's just those in-between moments, which you don't have to do. So that's a nice thing. You could just go right to the arena if you don't really care about boosting your stats or modifying those things, that RPG element. But when I think when you're doing a create a superstar, create a wrestler. I keep doing that. Create a wrestler. You kind of need these stat boosts, so you kind of have to add that to your experience. A little rough, not a fan of it in particular. Go back on the positive thing. We talked about all the like TLC for long-term fans of AEW. This has it for you. Music alone. Shout out to Mikey Ruckus. This guy crushed it and keeps crushing it with AEW themes. There are so many tracks of music in this thing. Now, granted, when you default get the game, it's only going to have a selection of like 10. Go into options and change your jukebox for your happiness, for your excitement level. Please do this for yourself. Go in there and customize it to your heart's extent. You have all of the themes of the current roster members. You have themes from past roster members or roster members who aren't even in the game. Brandy Rhodes' song is in there. B. Priestley now is Blair Davenport's theme is in there. Butcher and Blade's in there. The Wingmen's in there. Peter Avalon's in there. Total Party Kill. Him and Brandon Cutler's in there. Leva Bates is in there. Top Flight's in there. Hybrid 2's in there. There's so many in there. So you got a fuck ton of themes in there. You get some of the 8-bit tracks that they put out on that CD. You get pay-per-view themes, both instrumental and non-instrumental. You get the I don't remember what the name of the CD was, but it was like a lot of the wrestlers were involved with it. It was like an African American project, or like I don't know, and I'm sorry I don't know the exact verbiage, but like their compilations. You have guest artists like Mega Ran in there, and I think acclaimed Max Caster, some of his stuff is in there. There's so many tracks in there. Definitely go in there, check it out, and customize to your heart's content. Very cool that they added those things. Same with video packages. If you're going to do the Create a Wrestler, or you're going to modify your superstars' entrances, some of them have different animations. I think Adam Cole has 2. One, he's in the ring doing the boom. One, he's up top doing the Adam Cole baby. Young Bucks have 2. But Trons are all different too. Jericho's got like 9 different Trons. One's his Painmaker, one's Inner Circle, one's like old school, like he's breaking down the walls, one's his Lionheart thing. There's a fuck ton of those. You got a different ring announcer names, like Blackpool Combat Club's in there, even if they're not officially in this game. Some other ones I can't recall off the top of my head. Animation wise, even though there's no online suite where you can upload these, there are some entrance animations from like WWE Superstars, and well, that one's accurate, Superstars, that you can, if you wanted to create those wrestlers, you could, like Io Sky, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ricochet, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, etc. Pyro's kind of fun. A lot of different pyro options, and that's like something you trigger as the player. Any match you play them, exhibition, storyline, you have to press the button to trigger it while they're entering it to the ring, and you can do it for the computers too you're against. Lot of cool stuff that they have in like the small detail compartment in terms of that. I cannot speak upon the Create a Wrestler portion. I haven't delved into that. Only the entrances as I was modifying teams and doing stuff like that. But it's nice to see these modes represented from this team so early on and doing it well. Mini games. Let's talk about the mini games. Mini games are fun. I haven't gotten all of them. You start off with 4. If you get DLC, you get an additional mini game or 2 with each one. They're fun. They're cheesy. They're hokey. It's nothing you're going to play all the time. I really enjoyed the AEW Pop Quiz one, because that one I really like. I really enjoy trivia. They got some dumbass questions in there, like, oh, which wrestler was born in September? How the fuck am I supposed to know that? Ask me actual questions about AEW's history. That's what I want to do. But they're fun. They're silly. There's something to just take a break with. Chill with your friends, enjoy some laughs over it. I think the coin chase one has been one of my favorites. And then there's it's not the Pentasez. Pentasez is an interesting one. I want to play the baseball one, but I haven't unlocked it. They're just fun things you can take a break with, break the monotony up of it, and just go from there. Yeah. So all in all, would I recommend you buy this game? If you're an AEW fan, yes, I say go for it. I'm a little scared about longevity of the game. There are good modes in this, but there's not a lot of good modes in this. And this could be something that has a very short play window for you. And it really depends on the team and their plan. If they plan on adding, like roster members is great, but if they plan on continuing support for this title, maybe adding game modes, maybe adding match types, maybe adding the roster members, stuff like this, and it's at a, not quick, but if it's at a balanced and regular release schedule, I think this game has a lot of potential for keeping players around and giving that stark difference in gameplay that is not available right now. Like you have the 2K games, which are great in their own right, but simulation heavy. Fire Pro is insane with their creative suite, but is very technical from what I hear. Is like one of those things that's hard to really pick up or master from a gameplay perspective. This gives the players something that's very easy to pick up, is exciting for the players to do, and allows for a lot more fun than it's not a steep learning curve. It's a very quick initial learning curve and like pick up and play, but it's another thing that's like hard to master, which I think Kenny Omega even described it as, which is good. That allows for you to easy access point, and if you want to learn, you can learn, but you don't have to. One small other criticism that I personally don't like, mashing to get out of pins. Totally fine with it. Maybe find a more accessible approach for players who cannot do that or choose to not do that. Give some kind of progress bar, please. Me just mashing and hoping I kick out is the worst thing ever, because I feel like I can be mashing real fast and then the 3 count happens. Let me know, or at least see some kind of progress to the kick out. I understand if I'm more hurt, it's going to be a little harder. Maybe the progress goes slower, whatever it is. But at least I know as a player why I didn't kick out. It's not just all a big mystery of, I thought I hit it hard enough. I thought I hit it fast enough. Whatever it is. Just small detail. Just give me a bar there so I know, okay, I'm going to kick out. Nope, I'm screwed. That's all. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's AEW Fight Forever. If you're a big AEW fan, check it out. If you're like, yeah, on the fence, maybe wait on this. This may equate more to a $40 game for you. I could totally understand and see why that would be the case. Play it out by ear, see how the development is for it. See how they're adding content for it. If that looks like a good pattern for you and you see that the effort is being put in there, then yeah, go for it. If you want to wait, that's totally fair too. Do your thing. But from a gameplay, great. From a longevity of what they have, that's a mixed bag, in my opinion. So all in all, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll have to see how long I'm playing it for, but I am going to enjoy the time that I am playing it and really get a kick out of it and enjoy what the team at THQ and Ukes have put into this title. And, it's a first step. It can only go up from here, we hope. So, good on them. Happy for people who are enjoying their time with it. And we'll have to see where the franchise goes from here. But this has been another episode of the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast, guys. My name is Bret, a.k.a. Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011. You drop a follow over there. You'll get notified when we go live with the podcast or other streams. You join on the fun, join on the conversation like Mrs. G, Rainbow, and Papa Griff did today. I'd love to have you there on the fun and the conversation. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show, likes, shares, subscriptions, comments, whatever it is. It may seem small, but it does help the channel grow significantly. So if you could take the time to do that, we would love and appreciate you for it. Hope you guys had a fun time today, hanging out, giving this a watch, giving it a listen. Thanks for spending your time with us, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.